YouTube? What is up? Welcome back to the for Rasslin Studios.
What's up, Ox?
Guys, AEW Dynamite just finished up. It was a halfway decent show at AEW Dynamite, building on the last week's festivities. We had a couple more, advancements in certain storylines, but not a ton, really, though. Not a lot of meat on the bone here. You're just kind of waiting things out and letting the stories kind of simmer there and kind of move forward. A lot of faction stuff going on here. So we got a few things to get into, but before we do, I'm going to drop a like and a comment on this video. Let me know what you think about Dynamite's current situation, where they're headed in certain storylines. What do you think is going to happen with Kenny, the Bucks and all that, Kingston, Moxley and the Good Brothers, all the factions, the Pinnacle, all that stuff. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, all that stuff, where you think it's headed going into the future, into the next AEW pay-per-view, which I believe is Double or Nothing. I think so, right? Yeah, who knows? I think Double or Nothing is the next one in May. Yeah, so we'll see what happens going forward with that. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember, likes and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, the notification bell, you guys will learn when new videos drop. Social media is reading the story. Let's get right into AEW Dynamite. We started off with an interesting match. It was an AEW World Championship Eliminator match, whatever the hell that means, because the champion's in it. So it was Kenny Omega, the champion, taking on Matt Sydal. Where Matt Sydal gets off getting this match, I don't know, but he came out looking good in the end. It was a solid match between the two. He did reverse the One Wing Angel, which is pretty surprising. Omega still has the the ghost stuff going on with Rich Swann, the Impact champion. So we'll see what goes on with that. But it's interesting they gave Sydal the spot to counter the One Wing Angel. He still lost to it, but it was interesting that they pulled that off. Yeah.
I mean, I think that AEW, they like to show everybody's talents a little bit. They like kind of like keeping people strong. I mean, that's kind of what it feels like. Because there's matches where you're like, why is this match going on so long? It should be a squash, and this wasn't. So it was an entertaining enough match. Yeah,
we had some backstage stuff later on. After this was Christian Cage out there. He got confronted by Frankie Kazarian, and I believe they're gonna have a match next week, Kazarian versus Christian Cage. So we'll see that be the first feud that Christian Cage has against Frankie Kazarian as he makes his way towards the AEW World Championship. Next thing on the show was Hangman Page versus Cesar Bononi.
Who?
Yeah, I've seen this guy before in in what do you call it, battle royals and stuff, but Page gets the win, easy enough. Not much to say here. He's they're trying to push him going against Kenny eventually, so just for the AEW championship in general. So I don't think Christian Cage is gonna win this title. I don't know who will get the shot first, either Christian or Adam Page, but they're trying to build towards that going forward. So I mean, it's good because he's distanced himself just a little bit after the Matt Hardy stuff from the Dark Order. And which is a good thing.
I think so too. There's no need for him to be in the Dark Order. He was pushed as like a up and coming, gonna be the homegrown guy. He really hasn't come up yet. But it's coming. It's coming. His time is coming.
Yeah, so it was really good stuff. Then we had a pre-taped promo with the Murderhawk Monster or Murderhawk Madman Lance Archer. He's talking about how he cut a promo on Sting and taking shots at Sting. So we'll probably maybe eventually see him versus Sting or Archer versus Darby Allin, with Sting kind of being around because he got involved in today's match as well. So
yeah, I think that makes more sense. You can't have Sting go against the Murderhawk Maniac. I mean, that's kind of that's not a good call, because his style will clash with the old man Sting. So it wouldn't work. 25 years ago would have been great, but not right now.
Yeah, exactly. Next thing on the show, I think was the best part of the show, and it was Tony Schiavone interviewing Britt Baker. Britt Baker has an interview, and she just straight drops bombs on everything. Murders Tony Khan and verbally.
You're out here looking for every legend that ever has been, when you have the biggest one right here standing under your nose.
Verbally saying that he's signing every legend and has been, and when he has the number one person under his nose, looking at him in the face, and Britt Baker. She's talking about the match she had last week against Thunder Rosa, critically acclaimed match. Everybody was a big fan of it, and it really showcased how good Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa are, how they're the top of the women's division. But still, she got this really good promo talking about she's a legend and all this stuff like that, and how it took Mick Foley 20 years to become a hardcore legend. She did it in one night. So it was a really good promo. It's probably her best promo. She continues to improve and show why she's the megastar of the division, her and Thunder Rosa. But in the end, you still don't even see Hikaru Shida doing a face-to-face with them. She would get involved in something else later on, because they're pushing somebody else, surprisingly.
Yes. Very, very randomly too.
Yeah, exactly. So, this was good stuff from Britt Baker, but I hope it leads eventually to her getting into a big spot when it comes to the women's championship.
Yeah, I mean, we've been wanting her to be in the main picture. Maybe they're doing the smart thing and just kind of laying it back a little bit and, making us wait for it, making us want it and want it. It could be, smart in the end. Maybe at Double or Nothing, that's kind of like their mania, I think, because it was their first ever pay-per-view going in to, becoming AEW. But she did a great promo. She did a great job. She kind of was, the voice of the internet and stuff that we were talking about, where why you're bringing all these old guys and kind of all these, guys coming out of retirement to go and kind of mess up the whole AW vibe, which was just like this indie-rific vibe that was working for the most part. I mean, it really was working. They were winning every Wednesday night. So, yeah, I did like the promo. Not like it was definitely her best promo. And going off the match, she's red hot. She's probably the biggest star in the company next to Kenny Omega and like the elite guy. She's like that one. So I mean, just ride her and ride the women's division. Have her carry the entire women's division on her back. I mean, hopefully that's coming up soon because she deserves it.
Yeah, she definitely does. We'll see how that goes going forward. Next thing that shows the Hollywood Blondes taking on and Dante Martin of Top Flight versus the Pinnacle, Sean Spears and FTR.
Hollywood Blondes? Is it Hollywood Blondes?
I'm sorry, Varsity Blondes. Well,
yeah,
you know where I'm going with it. That's
I know.
That's what it is. It's the same. That's what they're going for. Whatever. No. Varsity Blondes, Dante Martin taking on FTR and Sean Spears at Pinnacle. Pinnacle's first match. It's all about showcasing Pinnacle as a force, a threat to be reckoned with. Good seeing the disappearing man come back onto TV 3 weeks in a row in Sean Spears. You love to see it. In the end, the Pinnacle beats Hollywood Blondes and Martin, and then FTR, MJF cuts a promo, obviously talking trash about Chris Jericho Inner Circle, which we haven't seen yet because the group has been absent the past 2 weeks, which is a good thing. Keep him away. Let's get talk as much trash to as much as he can, so you build that team as a force. And then here comes the Inner Circle with a sneak attack later on, a couple weeks down the road, and then just attack everybody in the ring. You have the big brawl, and then you could really...
on top. The Pinnacle. Last time we saw Team Taz,
and then you could really push the story into full gear after that.
This would be where the patience would really help AEW, just maybe like a month, and then all of a sudden they just come out of nowhere and mess up, the Pinnacle's thing. But good start to Pinnacle's run here. I like the crew. It's definitely a four horsemen. They're definitely going for the four horsemen vibe with the whole video of them in front of a jet. So it's like the new four horsemen, basically. Obviously more than four people, but definitely interested. It's good stuff. I'm liking MJF as like the lead dog. He has his own team now. He feels more important. And remember, this guy's only 25 years old, so it's like the sky's the limit with his kids. So let's just be patient here, AEW. Let's wait a little bit, and it can be such a payoff once they all meet up. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome stuff. We'll see how the feud ends up going and which direction it goes, going to Double or Nothing. Next thing I show was the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler. That's her homie. They keep riding with this guy. Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid, who's taking the spot of Pac. Pac is currently dealing with an injury. So the match was, you know what you're gonna get out of this, right? So that's exactly what you got. What you expected is what you got. So Lucha Bros, Laredo Kid get the win. Laredo Kid gets the pin at the end, and then you have Kenny Omega coming in attacking Laredo Kid, and then he says to the Bucks, he does take a shot at WWE, or he references them, should I say. He said that he could have went to greener pastures in New York, but he decided to follow the Bucks. He didn't choose AEW over WWE. He chose the Bucks over WWE and follow them. That's what he says. So he asked them to kind of dab him up one last time, make sure that.
This is ego out of control.
Toss it up for the hard cam. Are you guys with me?
Last time, make sure that they're cool. But the Lucha Bros, here he come. The Bucks kind of shunning him a little bit, and then the Lucha Bros come in and beat him down. And then they have the Good Brothers come in afterwards. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it all seems to be leading to maybe, I don't even know if you could do a 6-man. But definitely a tag match coming eventually between the Bucks and either the form of the Good Brothers or a 6-man with Kenny involved and somebody else for the Bucks.
I'm not loving this thing right now just because there's a lot going on. You got Mox and you got Kingston with the Good Brothers, and they're feuding, and there's still beef between Mox and Kenny, and then you got the Bucks here. It's just a lot of moving parts, kind of convoluted. I'm not really loving it. I'm not hating it either, but it's just I can't focus on what the hell's going on and who has a problem with who. It's I don't know. It's just nuts. It's like Baron Corbin. He's just feuding with everybody, and that's kind of what it feels like right now with Kenny and the Bucks and Good Brothers and Kingston. It's just too many toys to play with right now.
Yeah, and they could end up putting Mox maybe because Kingston's currently hurt because obviously the spot that happened last week. So maybe Mox joins the Young Bucks to take on Good Brothers and Kenny maybe at the next pay-per-view or something like that, or big match.
And then it might make more sense because right now it's a lot of moving parts.
But the main reason, the problem is that they kind of just drop the storyline a bit and then come back to it, and they may drop it again. We'll see because they have so much time between pay-per-views, they tend to drop stuff, and they have not enough TV for the amount of guys they have. So we'll see what happens going forward with all that tag team situation coming to pass later on. Next thing, it was probably the the most interesting thing that happened in the show. You had Tay Conti taking on Nyla Rose, a former AEW Women's Champion. Nyla Rose. Tay Conti gets the win. She's getting pushed. Especially after Anna Jay got injured, she was getting a bit of a push, winning singles matches here and there on Dynamite, on Dark, and all that. She gets a big win over this a woman that was a former AEW World Champion. And this is interesting because after the match, you have them attacking Tay Conti. Here comes Hikaru Shida attacking Nyla Rose with the kendo stick, and then the bunny for some random reason comes out and hits Hikaru Shida with that. So I don't know. I feel like this is just kind of like taking away from Britt Baker. Right? I think they should just jump. I mean, I guess, or put Thunder Rose in the spot. I guess they just want to hold on to it a little bit longer, maybe. But I don't know. I just, I don't understand. And then Matt Hardy was there as well. So it's just like, I don't know. It's a whole convoluted thing with these factions and stuff like that. I just think it's too much, and it felt kind of pointless in the end after you give Conti such a big win.
Yeah, just like, and then people are just jumping ship and going to other people's factions. I don't know, just collecting things. It doesn't make any sense. The bunny hasn't really been a focal point in the division at all. She's been more of a manager. She had the thing with Brandy's, last year when they were tag teams. I'm not really sure what the point of her versus Hikaru Shida is supposed to mean anything or make the title feel any more important. That it hasn't felt important since day one. So yeah, just more of them kind of just stuck in the mud when it comes to the women's division. Like they're just not moving their wheels. It's sitting right there, and they don't want to give it to her. So I don't know. Britt Baker's obviously the golden goose, but they don't want to do it. So,
yeah, and it's weird because you have Matt Hardy claiming that the tournament was a sham because the bunny wasn't involved. While Nyla Rose was standing right next to him. So I don't know. I don't even know. It's all like weird and convoluted. There's a lot going on. But
it's force fed.
Tay Conti gets her biggest match, wins her biggest match of her career. It's the biggest win of her career. So we're getting a little bit of a push here, but we'll see how everything kind of fleshes out in the women's division going on later on. Let's get to some interesting stuff. We had QT Marshall come out, and QT Marshall cuts a promo. He's pointing out his wife in the crowd, which I think is funny because all the stuff he did with the bunny previously, and like his wife is just like right there now. But whatever, talking about how like he's tired of being like Cody's labeled as Cody's friend. So Cody comes out and it's gonna give him an exhibition match, and Arn Anderson is gonna be the referee. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we get announced that Cody and Brand are getting their own Ms. and Mrs. show on TNT. Yeah. So they're going to get their own reality show similar to Ms. and Mrs. So I thought that was pretty fun. I thought it was pretty funny too, because like they have their own Ms. and Mrs. now. The WWE has their funny. So it's like they have both their own reality TV shows.
And I bet you Cody's talking mad shit to the Miz too. And just like texting him.
Probably, yeah. We had now heading into this final match, the main event. We had Team Taz talking, and they're talking about the issues that they had last week with Brian Cage speaking out and giving respect to Sting. He said Brian Cage apologized to everybody and apologized to Ricky Starks, but it seems like Ricky Starks, Brian Cage have some beef, which could lead to Brian Cage leaving the group and beefing with Ricky Starks. Remember, if Brian Cage leaves the group, he's probably gonna get to give up that useless ass FTW championship.
It means absolutely nothing. It never meant anything back in the day. It doesn't mean anything now.
Exactly, yeah. So
sorry, Taz.
That leads us directly into the TNT championship match. Darby Allin versus John Silver of the Dark Order. John Silver's getting pushed. He seems to be like the de facto leader of the group, not really like Eva Uno anymore or anything like that. So it seems to be John Silver's kind of like the star of the group. The match goes on. You have Dark Order getting involved. Then you have Sting coming out to help, or kind of he didn't really do much. He kind of just stood there and kind of like stared at the Dark Order. But you had Darby Allin attacking the Dark Order, allow the coffin drop and doing outside dives, stuff like that. Darby Allin gets the win here, and then you have Matt Hardy come out and his group and the Hardy family, and they start attacking everybody in the ring. Sting's in there fighting everybody off. It's just weird. I don't like the Hardy family. It's a random grouping of guys, and they're kind of just like, why are they getting involved in this? I don't really know. They're just kind of like moving them around, throwing them in there in certain things. I don't know. Really, I'm not a huge fan of the Hardy family thing, and I don't think it's any better. We could see who of the group of Hardy family gets a shot at the TNT Championship. Is it Matt Hardy?
He's the one that really anybody wants to see in that group.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just it's just I don't know. Whatever's ending is just a big brawl at the end. I don't know. It's just it is. We'll see what happens going forward. But the Hardy family getting involved in a lot of things right now, a lot of faction stuff going on in AEW.
I mean, I would have just rather have it end with Darby winning and doing this thing and just kind of like continue building Darby and adding more prestige to the TNT title, make that the focal point, not throwing Matt Hardy again. And I don't know what Matt Hardy's doing in this, and just again too much convolution, too many groups right now. Or too many prominent groups being shown every kind of 10 minutes. It's just like we don't know who's on who. It's a lot going on right now. Maybe just back it down, just a little bit, draw it back a little bit. But it should have been more Darby and the focal point on Darby and his continuing rivalry with every member of the Dark Order.
Now it's just setting up potential matches for the weeks to come. Dark Order, Hardy family with Darby Allin. So that's what it's all setting up. And then we might just get Hardy versus Allin at the end of it for the TC Championship. But we'll see what happens. It was an okay episode of Dynamite. Nothing too crazy happened here. Just a lot of more of the same and kind of setting things up. I'm mostly just interested in the whole women's division, how things gonna play out after what happened last week in that Lights Out match. But guys, that's the review we have for you guys today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, notification bell. Hit us in the comment section what you thought of this episode of Dynamite. What do you think Dynamite's headed, the AEW in general headed with all these factions, the Hardy family stuff? Where do you think all this is going? What do you think is gonna happen with the women's division? Let us know in the comment section below what you guys think of all that, what your opinions are. We'd love to hear it. So hit us up there. And that's the video we have for you guys today. If it doesn't work for you, bro, then that's your job.
Later, Marks.